Everybody wants it now. And so here's the problem in today's society of swipe left, swipe right, Amazon Prime, Instacart, Netflix, everything is accessible at the click of a button, and you can get things very, very quickly. In regards to weight loss, in regards to pure fat loss and getting in shape and creating habits and sustainable lifetime habits, that takes time. So this is not about just losing weight. This is about keeping weight off. So when you join into the program, I give you a forecast and I break down how long we expect you to lose X, whatever your particular weight loss goal is. This is a particular client who is now in her 8th week. And this lesson is called Get Over Yourself, not in a non-empathetic tone, but in a way that the struggles that they were particularly dealing with are not necessarily unique to her own individual situation. This particular client, April 19th, 2025, when they started the program, they were at 176 pounds. Their last check-in was at 164. And you can see this little rebound and uptick. Now, when I hopped onto our one-on-one meetings, which I have with my VIP clients, we meet one-on-one every single week to do this. We review numbers, we look at charts, we troubleshoot, and then we also plan ahead. If you would like for me to coach you one-on-one so that I can support you 7 days a week and track everything alongside with you to help correct, click the link down below, fill out your information, and we can schedule a time to talk. This particular client was all in their feelings today in our one-on-one to the point where they were crying. And I simply asked them, I was like, what are you upset about? What are you crying about? I don't know. They did know. But I stood and I was like, why are you crying? What's upsetting you? What's going on? I don't know. And I said, all right, we will sit here until you figure it out. Because we need to identify what emotions you're experiencing and accurately identify what those emotions are so that then we can begin to work through them and go towards a situation. Now, what had happened in this particular instance when this client was all emotional, all in their feelings and crying, is they had a rough 4-day patch. They'd seen the scale go up, and they told me that their spouse was unsupportive. Okay. And that the spouse wasn't as focused as they were, and their spouse was just creating a bunch of inconvenience. And what I simply told them was, I totally get it. I hear you. Sometimes self-development in regards to, improving your fitness, improving your bank account, trying to get the raise, trying to get the promotion, trying to level up, trying to grow spiritually. Sometimes that can be a lonelier journey because it's not your friend's responsibility to get you to your goals. It's not your spouse's responsibility, your kid's responsibility, your coworker's responsibility to get you to your goals. That is solely your responsibility. You are going to have to be the one to put in the work and the workouts. You're the one that's going to have to eat the food. And I can't do that for you guys. But they were all up in their head about, man, this is hard and they're not supportive. We used to do this and now that I'm trying to do this, they're upset and yada, yada, yada. Basically, the scenario is an unsupportive household. And when we say unsupportive, they're not on the same path. They're not on the same journey. They don't have the same priorities as this particular client. And so when you combine that with a spike in your weight, when we had our meeting, it just happened to catch her on, like, she was just very emotional for that day. But when I broke this down and I said, listen, it's like, you're right on track. I'm proud of you. you're learning new skills that you've never really focused or emphasized at this level of effort that we're doing now ever in your life. So guess what? Yeah, it's like it's going to be challenging for you, and you're probably not going to be very good at it in the beginning, but that doesn't mean that you just give up, throw in the towel, and just have a terrible attitude about it, because that's basically what people mostly do in the first place. Is they get to a rough patch, they experience some adversity or some hardships, they have setbacks, and then once they have that setback, they just give up. But let me show you how I do this. So I said, you're right on track. When she first started, she was at 176 pounds. Before the weekend, today is of this recording, today is May 21. This is May 18th. So technically, on Sunday, 3 days ago, she was at 160. So that's a total of 16 pounds in 8 weeks. 16 divided by 8 is 2 pounds per week. She's averaging a weight loss of 2 pounds per week. Now, this doesn't all happen at once. It doesn't all happen on the back end. It doesn't all happen in the middle. It is, as you can see, through this 8-week journey, we had a massive dip, side trend, spike, recovery, broke what I refer to as breaking through the basement, drop. This is on Sunday, and then another rebound too as well. And we'll see this in many charts for people who have been here 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. I got a client with that I'm working in my VIP. She's been with the program in the VIP for 3 years. And you can see these ebbs and flows. But what's most important, and what I tell them is, like, what is the trajectory? What is the trend? Are we downtrending, side trending, or uptrending over time? And for that to happen, we need to have accurate data. So I have my clients report to me daily specific numbers. One of those is their weight. And the way that we can do this, and the reason why I do this, is so that I can start to identify trends. But then also we can, again, assess a weekly comprehensive average. So 176 down to 160, that's 16 pounds in 8 weeks. She's averaging a 2-pound loss per week. And I told her, I said, think about this. If you just simply stayed at a 2-pound, which is fantastic in my opinion, if you stayed at 2-pound average per week and you're in the program for 6 months, 26 weeks, that's 52 pounds. But people don't do that. What she was doing, and why she was getting so upset, is like she was looking at this 4-day snapshot. And if you're taking notes, write this down. Stop looking at the snapshot. Look at the comprehensive average overall. Let's look at the total body of work, not just this 4 days. And this is a problem with a lot of times people are like, well, this last month I've been doing okay. Yeah. This last 6 weeks I lost X amount in this last 6 weeks. So what happened? Well, I ended up putting it back on. I don't care what you did on the short term. I want to see what is the trend over time. What's the pattern? What's the pattern? What's the pattern? I'm an expert in recognizing patterns in regards to people's behaviors with their nutrition, with their working out or lack thereof, and their weight. And so we don't want to look at what people are saying. We want to look at the actual data. And so she was all in her feelings and had to metaphorically talk her off the ledge because she was just so frustrated and crying over a situation that she has no control over with the spouse. And I just wanted to point out, is like, you're doing freaking fantastic. You're averaging 2 pounds per week. You keep this pace, you lose 56 pounds. 26? You lose 52 pounds in 6 months. And the story behind this training is like, these things will happen. You see this spike right here, and you see this spike right here. These rebounds and these corrections, and these uptrends are a part of it. Weight loss is not linear. Fat loss is not linear. It is like the stock market, up, down, sideways, up, down, sideways, up, down, sideways, but we want to look at the trend over time. Obviously, in a weight loss graph, we want to see the trend downtrending over time. So the point of this is, I wanted to share with you guys, is when you get into my program, I will give you a forecast. You want to lose X amount of pounds, it's going to take this long. And so we can actually see, is like, are you ahead of schedule, on schedule, or behind schedule? And the reason why I do this is to help manage your expectations when this particular scenario occurs. And when I talk about this particular scenario, is like when you get into your head, because it's going to happen. It might happen the first week, it might happen the first month. This was actually took 9. We're going into week 9. It took 9 weeks for this particular person to come up against some adversity that really got to her emotionally and made her cry. That's going to happen. Don't think that it won't. You're going to have self-doubt. You're going to have a lack of belief. It's what you do in those moments that's going to make the biggest difference. Know that. It's never going to be linear. I have a big, long chart, like I said, of that one student that's been in it for 3 years. You can see the ebbs and flows over time, but you can see the downtrend over time too as well. So stop looking at daily snapshots, weekly snapshots. You want to start keeping track of your data as much as possible and look at the trend over time. That is going to tell the big story, not the 6 weeks you got ready for your vacation, not the 3 months that you did a 90-day challenge. Let's look at things quarterly, biannually, annually, multiple years, and that'll actually be the true judge of like what's reflective of your lifestyle and actually how you're behaving over time. Manage your expectations. Know that it's never going to be linear. Know that you're always going to have adversity come up eventually, and work through that.